This is the biggest update from Boruit yet. Today we're taking a look at the brand new and improved Boruit V30. So many of you have asked me to review this one, and I'm excited to finally bring it to you. As always, I'll be going through all its features and comparing to the previous V series models, from the V10 to the V20, and everything in between. We'll also put it to the test with a runtime showdown to see which one lasts the longest. And don't forget, there's also a giveaway at the end, so stick around to see how you can enter. Let's jump right into the unboxing. Here's a quick look at the box. I do wish they placed the barcodes on the side instead of right on the front. As you pull out the manual, you'll find everything neatly packed underneath. Now here's a quick look at the flashlight itself. It's got a single LED for the main light, with dual UV and red LEDs positioned at the top of the head. It comes in two colors, black and white. Only the white one glows though. Here's the rest of the stuff that's included in the package. Let's take a closer look at the Boruit V30 flashlight. First off, the body is mainly plastic, but with an aluminum head that helps with heat dissipation. The V30 is noticeably bigger than the previous models. Stick around because I'll be doing a detailed size comparison later in the video. You control everything with just two buttons. Between those buttons, you'll find a handy power and charging indicator LED. At the top, there's a single LED that powers the main light. On top of that, we got dual UV lights, and below that, dual red LEDs. Let's zoom in for a closer look at the main light's LEDs. The beam pattern has been updated for a more focused throw. And just like the V20 models, the head of the flashlight rotates a full 180 degrees. The V30 has 4 brightness levels, including turbo mode. Turbo can only be activated by holding down the power button, giving you a burst of maximum light. Here's a quick look at the beam pattern for the red and UV lights. Now onto the side lights. They offer 6 modes, including an ear-piercing siren. You got white, red, warm white, and green lights to choose from. It even has red and blue flashing lights. And if you leave it on for too long, it flashes purple before returning to red and blue. Speaking of the siren, it's still here, and by far the loudest and most shocking sound you'll hear from a flashlight. Don't worry, I adjusted the volume so you don't lose your hearing. Just hold down the left button to turn it on. It's perfect for emergencies. One thing to note though, there's no lock feature on this flashlight. At the bottom, there's a pretty hefty magnet. Here's a quick comparison between the magnets on the V30 and the V20. Now let's talk about the lanyard. It attaches through a dedicated hole at the bottom, which is what I prefer. I like how it feels in hand, though I do wish there's an option for a wrist lock as well. Moving on to the clip, it's a two-way design. So you can use it as a pocket clip or attach it to a hat or backpack. The clip mounts securely thanks to its 2 notches that slide into place, and it's easier to remove compared to the previous models. On the side, you'll find the USB-C port. This is the first time Boruit has added a power bank feature to their V series flashlight. The included cable is thick and robust, though I do wish it was a bit longer. Unfortunately, you can't use it for charging. It's only for output. It would have been nice if they ditched the small USB port entirely. To activate the power bank feature, press the left button 3 times. A blue light will come on, indicating that it's supplying power. While the power bank is active, only the white side light works. Another 3 clicks will deactivate it, though there's a slight lag before the blue lights turn off. While charging, I got a reading of over 1000 milliamps. Not bad for a flashlight charger, and definitely useful in emergencies. On the back, the flashlight comes with a 2000 milliamp battery, the belt clip, the siren, and the USB-C port for charging. Quick tip, watch out for the charging port when removing the pocket clip. I accidentally tore mine and now it's difficult to open. The port is small and only works with selective USB-C cables, so this bulky cable won't fit. The V30 charges at 1 amp. The indicator lights will show solid red while charging and turns solid green once fully charged. And the best part, the flashlight is fully functional while charging. You can use the main lights, red lights, UV lights, side lights, and even the siren. Pretty handy, especially when that siren is being activated during an emergency. The V30 has an IP65 rating, which is a slight downgrade from the IPX67 rating on the previous models. The IPX65 will handle splashes and water jets, but it's not fully submersible like IPX67. Size-wise, it measures 3.2 inches long, with a thickness of 0.7 inches. And a width of 1.6 inches. The V30 weighs just 92 grams, making it nice and lightweight. If you throw on the clip, the total weight comes to 99 grams. And for a quick size comparison, here it is next to a $2 bill and a playing card. Let's dive into a comprehensive size comparison between the V series flashlights. Starting with the newest and the biggest, the V30. Next up is the Boruit V15, which takes the second spot in terms of size. Then we have the V20, which I considered the best all-around flashlight in the series, but not anymore since the V30 came out. And finally, the V10, the oldest in this review, but still a solid option. For reference, here's a 4.5-inch carpenter square to give some perspective. Now, here are all the flashlights lined up from shortest to tallest. The V10 is the shortest, followed by the V20, then the V15, and finally the V30. Here's a side view to show how they compare in thickness. Speaking of thickness, the V30 is just a fingernail thicker than the V15, while the slimmest of the bunch is the V10. You can really see how much wider the V30 is compared to the others in the V series. The magnets on the flashlights are the same size, except for the V30, which got a nice little upgrade. Let's take a look at the main light setup across the V series. With the V30, you no longer have to choose between having a UV light or a red light. Both are right on the head. Now let's check the rotating heads. The V10's head is fixed, while the V15 allows 80 degrees of movement. Both the V20 and the V30 have improved to a full 180 degrees. Moving on to the beam pattern, the V30 got a huge update here. There's a noticeable improvement in performance. Next up, let's compare the UV lights. The V30 has dual UV lights with a much wider beam pattern. The V20 also has dual UVs, but they're stacked on top of each other, giving it a more narrow pattern. The V10 only has a single UV light. For the V15, there's no UV lights. Now let's do a direct comparison of the V20 and the V30 UV lights against currency. You can clearly see the V30 has a much wider spread. Here's a static shot of the UV lights for reference. Moving on to the red lights, this comparison is between the V20 and the V30, since they are the only V series flashlights with red lights. The V30 has a much better beam pattern, as its LEDs are more spread out compared to the stacked setup on the V20. Next up, we'll dive into the runtime comparison. Now it's time for the runtime comparison. I didn't get around to this in my previous reviews, so today we're putting all the V series flashlights up against each other. From left to right, we got the V10, the V15, the V20, and the V30. Alright, let's get them all turned on as quickly as possible. Just a minute in, the V20, the V10, and the V30 have already dimmed down a step. And now all the flashlights are at the same brightness level. At 3 hours and 6 minutes, both the V10 and the V20 dimmed down again. The first to give out, the V10, tapping out at 3 hours and 13 minutes. Then at 3 hours and 20 minutes, the V20 started dimming down, finally shutting off at 3 hours and 23 minutes. Now we have 2 players left in the game. The V15 dimmed down at 4 hours and 11 minutes. Completely shutting off at 4 hours and 28 minutes, while the V30 is still going strong. At 4 hours and 50 minutes, the V30 dimmed down again, and once more at 5 hours and 57 minutes. Finally, it powered off at 6 hours and 3 minutes. A great runtime for such a compact flashlight. Let's see if any of these flashlights have some life left in their batteries. The V10 still has a little juice, but the V15 is completely dead. It won't turn on at all. The V20 is still good and has some life left. And the V30, you guessed it, still has some charge left too. Let's head out to the backyard to check out the brightness and beam pattern. We'll also compare it to the previous models for a side-by-side look. We're starting off at 75 feet from the trees. Here's a closer look at the beam pattern from this distance. Now we're moving 50 feet from the fence line. As we move closer, we're now 25 feet from the trees. Check out what the side light looks like at this range. Now, just 5 feet away. Here's what it looks like shining up into the tree line, which is perfect for spotting animals or even people at night. The tree line is 50 feet above from where we're standing. At 25 feet, here's a look at the beam pattern. Let me know what you think about using the shed as a test spot. The next location is a new one. We're deep into the woods. The trees are about 30 feet away, and I have to admit, it's a little creepy back here. Now let's switch it up with some drone shots. We'll start at 15 feet. Here's the beam pattern at 100 feet. And finally, a drone shot view from 200 feet above. This by far is the best Boruit V series yet. What a great update. It's rated at 900 lumens, but it feels much brighter than the previous versions, thanks to its updated beam pattern. The 900 lumens are now more focused, and you really notice the difference. The same goes for the UV LEDs. The placement of the UV LEDs provides a much wider beam spread compared to its earlier models. And of course, the head still rotates a full 180 degrees, which I'm glad they kept. You no longer have to choose between a UV light or a red light. Both are conveniently located at the head of the V30. One of the coolest features is the power bank option. It's perfect for emergencies or if you need a quick charge for your phone or any USB-C device. The build quality remains as rugged and durable as the previous models, which is great. The button press delay has been significantly improved. There's barely any lag now. Plus, there's a new indentation on the case which makes it easier to locate the buttons in the dark. The siren, it's by far the loudest in the V series. This could be a big plus or might just give you a big scare if you accidentally press it. One thing to know is that the V30 is noticeably bigger than the previous version, which might be a drawback for some, but it's still compact. With this larger size, you get a bigger battery, a power bank feature, and both UV and red lights on top. I do wish it came with the white and orange diffusers like the V20s did. But if you already have the V20, those diffusers are still compatible with the V30s. Just with a bit of force. If you're a fan of Boruit's V series of flashlights, the V30 is an absolute must-have. It's a great, affordable EDC flashlight. That wraps it up for my review of the Boruit V30. Support this channel by giving this video a like and subscribing for more content. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Oh wait, the giveaway. Leave a comment below with the number 21 to enter. Remember, this giveaway is for subscribers and US residents only. We're giving away a total of 5 flashlights, so be sure to enter. Good luck, and a special thanks to Boruit for sponsoring this giveaway. See you guys later.